Hi everybody, today we are going to paint a few everyday objects. The concept is quite simple. We are going to paint things that carry memories. It can be an ordinary object, a favorite book, or a gadget we haven't seen in years. Things that remind us of our childhood or younger years, or just a happy moment in time. As usual, we'll keep things simple. As you already know, our goal here isn't to replicate reality. We want to create our own version of it, add our vision, express our feelings, and represent what we see in a personal and emotional way. I chose to make mine quite colorful, but I think that they would also look great in monochrome. So I am leaving you with that suggestion as well. Okay? Allow me to take the opportunity to talk to you about something that many have asked. Which medium is best to start with? Oils, acrylics, watercolor, gouache. Okay, so each one has its pros and cons, and there is no one-size-fits-all answer, okay? So the short answer would be oils if you want to paint at a slower pace, enjoy blending, and aim for realism. Acrylics if you need something more practical, faster, and easier to manage in a small space. Also, if you are more leaned towards abstraction, expressionism, and folk art. Watercolors and gouache if you look for a more delicate and romantic aesthetic. So at the end of the day, the best medium is the one that suits your needs, your style, and your goals. You have probably noticed by now that I mainly use watercolors and acrylics. And that's mostly for practical reasons because these exercises, they are very quick, okay? Most of them take up to 30 minutes and some take just as little as 10 minutes. So I need something fast drying and easy to clean up because I don't have a dedicated studio or space to store oil paintings while they dry. That's one of the main drawbacks of oil for me, the drying time. Oils can take days or even weeks to fully dry. And you need a proper ventilated space to leave them, undisturbed. And I simply don't have that at the moment. With watercolor and acrylics, I can finish a piece and safely store it right away, which fits better into my daily routine and limited space. Another reason I use water-based paint is more personal. I have a strong sensitivity to the chemicals in oil paints. Even the water-based or odorless, they simply don't work for me, okay? So unless I am working on a commissioned piece where oil is specifically requested, I avoid them. That said, oil painting has incredible advantages. The slow drying time gives you more flexibility. You can revisit your work over several days, make changes, blend color smoothly, and achieve richer textures and more realistic effects. So if your goal is photorealism or a slower, more layered approach to painting, oils are your choice. However, if you're just starting out, acrylics and watercolor are more beginner-friendly in many ways. They are more affordable, they are easy to set up, they are mess-free and easy to clean and quick to dry. Okay. And you can still achieve beautiful, expressive results. And they also push you to make decisions quickly, which can be a great learning tool. Okay. There is a lot of bias, especially towards oil painting, that comes from traditional art academies. People also often tend to get defensive about their preferred medium. However, from Warhol to Hackney, artists use every medium under the sun, and many of them are creating amazing work with acrylics, watercolors, and even digital tools. So don't get stuck with what's the best. Find what works for you and go from there. Okay. So the good and the bad about each one. Acrylics, beginner friendly, cost, moderate, space, easy to clean. The market is decent, especially for modern art and illustration. It's vibrant and versatile, and it's best for abstract, pop art, mixed medium, but it dries very fast, which limits the blending time, and it can look a little bit plastic if not handled properly. Oils. It is beginner friendly. The drying time gives you the opportunity to revisit your work and correct some mistakes that you might make along the way. It is a little bit more expensive than the other ones. It needs ventilation and time to dry. The market is strong favored. It has a rich, deep blending classic look that many people like. And it's best for realism, portraits, landscapes. And the bad thing about oils is it takes ages to dry. It requires solvents, which can be messy and toxic, and requires more tools and space. Watercolors, very beginner friendly, but it is a little bit hard to control, but it takes a minimal setup, okay? It's not expensive. It's portable, very easy to clean. It is water-based, so it's very practical as well. It has good market, especially for illustration and design. It is soft, transparent, and light, and is best for landscapes, illustration, and journaling. The bad thing about watercolor is it's hard to fix mistakes and requires a bit of planning. And as to gouache, of all, it's the one that I use the least. It is beginner friendly. It is mid-range regarding to cost. It doesn't require much space. It is water-based, so it's easy to clean. The market is strong for illustration, design, and animation as well. It has a opaque velvet finish, which some might like. I particularly don't. And it's best for posters, illustrations, and graphic styles. The bad thing about gouache is that it can crack if you paint thick, and it is a little bit tricky for layering because it reactivates with water. So it's a little bit tricky for you to layer it, but it's okay. If you have any questions about painting, mediums, or anything else, feel free to ask. I'll do my best to reply as soon as I can, okay? I had originally planned to paint more of this, but work got in the way, as it often does, and I only had time to complete 4 of them. Still, I hope it's enough to inspire you to look around and find meaningful objects of your own to paint. And that's it. I hope you found this helpful. And more than that, I hope this inspires you to keep on creating. Okay. And as always, keep on practicing and thank you for joining us.